Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and whenever you watch this replay. Um, a few things here for those community members. Um, you know who you are. We have a April 26th. We have our monthly call, so I just wanted to get that out there to remind you. And today we're going to talk about. Let me rephrase. Yesterday we talked about pattern, right? And pattern I'll have to show a few things, but we're going to also talk about rhythm and the difference between them. So, what I want you to think about for this call is how you go through your daily life, and do you have a routine, or does your life feel sometimes chaotic, and but you do the same things in a certain way, in a certain flow, in a certain movement? That's really that movement, that flow, and the way you do things is not necessarily a pattern. It's a routine. It's how you move through life, right? And so that's not a bad thing. However, how you react to it, on your chaotic life, if you will, um, is the rhythm and how you work through those things. A pattern is repeating the same thing over and over and over again, whereas rhythm could various could you could vary the things, right? So if you talk about art, pattern is a repeating diamond over and over and over, whereas the rhythm of art moves your eye throughout the entire piece because the rhythm may have the same shape or may have the same color, but it's the variation. So there's a difference between pattern and rhythm in art. So I'll demonstrate that in just a minute. But my thoughts there in the beginning were a little crazy. But waking up and going live. I need a little bit more wake up time before I start speaking sometimes. But anyway, for those community members, hey, good morning, Christina. For those community members, don't forget we have our monthly call on Saturday. So um, bring your gel plates. We have something fun to do. All right, let's talk about rhythm and pattern. All right, we've seen this one for pattern, right? And we saw this one. Very, same shape, same same color, everything. Here, you have a lot of pattern, but you have just a little bit of rhythm going on. Why? Because these these in the back are a little bit um different in shape, but they're same color, so that makes them more on the pattern side. And then you have these three focal points here that's repeating the pattern that's in the background. It's not really moving your eye. I mean, your eye goes straight here. So when we're looking at rhythm, you may not recognize that this might be rhythm. You might or pattern. But if you think about it, the pattern is right here in this little section and this little section of the black dots, right? But the rhythm is your eyes moving across the entire piece. Your eye just can't land on one thing because you're going from here to here to here to here, right? Maybe not in that order, but your eye is moving. Now, right here, one may say, "Well, Sherry, that's a pattern." And I would say it's a rhythm because you're varying while you have repeating shapes, you're varying the different size and color. And also the rhythm of the artwork and how the movement of the artwork is. This one here, you'd be like, Sherry, I don't see any pattern here. Well, sure, there is pattern here, right? You got these hexagons, but you have more rhythm. If you look at these pieces of paper that come in and out of the piece, right? That's your rhythm. You also have these 3 shapes here that your eye can't really line over on either one of these. Now, I'll have to say my eye ends up being over here more than over here, but it still has some rhythm to it. And then the same with this one as well, right? You have pattern here of these jagged lines, these circles, one could argue the circles are a pattern, but really it's the rhythm because they're different sizes and shapes. So you have one way over here and then these as well. And your eye, depending on where you move it, right? My eye always ends up. I look at the whole piece, but it always ends up here. So my eye has moved and traveled around the piece to here. It doesn't matter how I turn, it goes here. So I'm looking at this, it goes here every time. So that's also your focal point. Okay. So that's the difference between pattern and rhythm today. So as we were working yesterday, we were working on, and I found some more triangles. We were working on pattern. So we said this was a pattern, and then we were working on these pieces as being patterns. And okay, I know where my stuff is now, right? So we were working on these triangles as being a pattern. So rhythm in artwork is how you do the art and how your eye travels throughout the piece. And if you think about that with your daily life and how it may feel chaotic or may not be feeling chaotic, it's up to you. But how do you move through your life? Do you have the same thing? Like example, wearing the same shirt every day for 7 days. That would be a pattern, right? The rhythm moving throughout your life, it may not be exactly in order, right? You may um one day go to the grocery store. The next day you go to a different store, right? So maybe it's a clothing store. So it's just a rhythm of how you move out throughout your day. But I chose the 2 stores to show you the variation of stores. Hopefully that made sense. Also, pattern when life, as I said yesterday, when life feels a little chaotic, maybe doing the same thing over and over may not be a good thing, right? In negative cases. And in other cases, it may be a very good thing, depending on how you manage the way you move through life. I hope that made sense. Showing the difference between the 2. Okay. I'm just gluing these down here because this is a thicker cardstock, like really thick cardstock. Now, based on what I just said, right? Is this a pattern or a rhythm? One could debate on if this is a rhythm or a pattern because we're varying the size and the shape and the color. This here, the scallop, the chicken wire, couldn't think of the word. Those are definitely patterns. The movement of this piece of artwork, I haven't found it yet, which is also the rhythm of this artwork. My eye goes straight to here because of the color. Sorry, I'm just adjusting these just a little bit. While they're still wet. The other ones I cannot adjust. I wish I would have seen that yesterday. They don't seem to be on the edge like I wanted. Okay. So definitely focal point is right here. So we'll have to, I want more rhythm in my art. So we'll have to figure out what that looks like here in a minute. All right, now I know that I want, and I threw them all back into the box yesterday as I was cleaning up. I was wanting to utilize, I don't know about that, but I wish maybe we just flip that over and make that white. I was really playing with the idea, and that's not the box I threw them in. Okay. I was playing with the idea of all these white looking shapes. And that's where I was headed yesterday. Not seeing any other ones that I wanted. Oh, here's a little bitty one. Is there any other ones? I'm not seeing them. Don't think so. No. Okay. I just really liked how, except for that one, I just really like how this popped against the background. The contrast. So I haven't decided what that's going to be yet. And if I don't know if I have any more of this paper, but man, I would come back to this paper. I'm liking it. There is a piece I was thinking about. I don't know if I can find it. How does this look? Oh no, you cannot see that. What does this look like? Maybe. Okay. What color is that? Is that blue? Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we have in here. In my little bags of tricks. What does this look like? Okay, that I like the way that pops as well. Hmm. Mm-mm. What is this? Nope. No, that's too blendy. It blends too much. All right. Different direction. Not liking it. All right. It's not speaking to me today. Things are not speaking to me. They have gone silent. Trying to find that rhythm. All right. Ooh, I like this, but does that even? No. Oh. Do these things go? These things do go together. Let's see. Yeah, but that's not what I want. Okay. Too many of shapes, I would call them. I hate to say that, but All right. I liked this for sure. Don't know if I like that there. Maybe. Maybe. No. Wow. Today's just not happening. The struggle is real. No, too much white there. I like it when it's got the contrast is really popping, so that's just too big. What happens if we overlap that just a little bit? I don't like that abrupt inness, so let's scoot that out just a little bit. And maybe we'll put these two together. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll put this here and here, kind of overlapping that piece. All right. Now, right now, that's the focal point. So we don't necessarily want that focal point of our eye to go there. So I'm trying to figure there's going to be something over here, but we don't know what that is yet. What happens if you turn that over? It's orange. Okay. So the blue definitely works there. Reminds me of an igloo. You know what, Christina? I was thinking the same thing. I was really thinking the same thing. I was thinking of an igloo, for sure. It's funny that you were saying that. It's like, okay, that looks like an igloo sitting on the river. It's the shape. That's what reminds you of that. And then the little heart, of home or whatever the case may be. That's what I was thinking of. And sometimes when you're creating collages and you're trying to be intuitive, it just doesn't always work out the way you were hoping. And so today is one of those struggle days. But I'm kind of tired too. So, um, yeah, it's where we are right now. Someone's gonna have to come back to me. And then this one here kind of reminded me of like the moon, right? So it definitely reminds me of the moon. I like the curvature of this piece against the, echoing the shape of that little gumdrop, if you will. I don't know if I would turn this into a scene or not, but it could easily turn into a scene in my mind. And sometimes you just have to go with it, but that's what this right here is where this is headed. And it wasn't meant to be a scene. It was meant to show rhythm. But you're gonna get real art for me when it happens, and here we are. That's my mind is going to cold, and I like the white pieces and how they bounce against that blue. I like this lighter blue against it, the harmony, of the piece, right? So, which that's a different topic for a different day. It kind of reminds me of like the aurora borealis with these lines coming through it. So, like, there's like a whole little story right here that's happening, and that is not what I meant to do. Um, but that's what I kept going back to. Like my hands and what I was working on just said, "Hey, I like this. This looks good to the eye," right? So that just might be it. Nighttime with the little borealis. I really like those white pieces, and I think I've just used them all up. So we'll just have to, oh, don't need that feather in there. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if I have any more, but I don't. I don't recall using those, but maybe I did. Hmm. I'll have to go back and look. All right, that's that piece, guys. We're just gonna glue that down and get her done. I, yeah, I'm a little shocked by that. That was not intentional. Sometimes your art just has to flow and you just got to do the thing. I'm not sure how it was, but oh, I do. Let's try this again. Pick this back up, move this over. I think it was more like that. I don't recall. Oh, where's that piece? Okay, and then this was more like that. Okay. You guys sit over there. Well, that's not exactly where I wanted, but I did not want this blue shape to end up at that dot. That just did not. And I didn't want to go all the way across. So we're just going to go there. It's all right. The reason why I have it overlapping just a little bit is because it grounds it better. Oh, there's the piece. And which side do I want? Oh, stuck to me. I'll go over it with glue in just a minute, but you just need to sit there and stop sticking to me. And I think I had this more. I know I had this. Well, it's not exactly what I wanted. Can I pick these up? Can I pick these up? The answer is yes, you can. And you can scoot them down too. I don't know if I want to scoot them too far down. I did want to go past this blue just a little bit. Or the blue go past the white just a little bit. I think I want that pair. All right. Now all y'all go down. Okay, we definitely have a little scene, a little home out in the Alaskan skies. And we have the Aurora Alice. We have our little igloos with a little happy heart for home. And on the moon, with the moon at the top with some clouds. And that's our little story of this little piece. And I'm liking it. So I think that's where we're going to go. I do want to add, and I know I'm going over just a little bit. So 1 second. I was thinking, let's rip that. Who would have thought that these brayer skids would be a thing? But man, they are rocking it. Okay. It kind of ends like right here. And I want to show a little movement on this side because everything just kind of ends right there. And I want to break that line. And then, of course, you're leaving all this space here. So guess what we got to do? We are making a little bit of it's too square like, but oh no, that worked perfect. Okay. Let's just turn it a little bit. Okay, I think that's good. And then I think I want another piece right here. I don't come on these. What's interesting is I don't come on these lives going, oh, I'm going to create this today. No, I literally, you're seeing it in real time. It happens in real time. Like, I had no clue what we're doing with these things. Intuitiveness definitely appears. I don't know if I like that there. Pick it up. Oh, can you pick it? Oh, are you too late? No. Okay, where do I want that? I don't want it in line. I kind of wanted it off a little. Okay, we're going to go there. All right. So we definitely, oh, 1 second. I had to get that on there. And of course, I don't have any. Let's get the glue off my brush. Let's make sure this is really glued down. Cleaning off the glue off my brush here for 1 second. All right. I got to make sure to go wash that. We have two distinct pieces. A lot of pattern, a little bit of rhythm in here, but my eye goes right here. And so that's why I wouldn't say that this is really a rhythm piece. If my focal point goes right there constantly, my eye is not really moving around. You got a little bit of rhythm, but not much. You definitely have repeating blue pattern right throughout here and here. Your focal point is definitely here, but with this strong lines going through here, that's providing a little bit more rhythm to the piece, right? Because your eye travels around the piece, but it does end up back at the focal point. But the orange is bringing your eye upwards for more of a rhythm. You don't really have pattern, but you do have various colors of blue in here. That's providing more the rhythm versus like here. So if you look at these two different pieces, the hexagons, the scallops are definitely your pattern there. This is not necessarily a pattern. It's definitely a variation of a pattern. So it's teetering a little bit. It's still the triangle shapes, but they're different colors and different sizes. And they're not perfectly cut the same way like these are. So that's the difference between pattern and rhythm. Rhythm is more about the movement of the piece. Pattern is very much cookie cutter, if you will. You like my cookie cutter sound? But anyway, so when you're going through your day today, think about, are you doing a pattern or are you doing rhythm? Pattern is repeating the same thing over and over, exactly the same way. Rhythm is how you move through your life. So think about those things and how that impacts your art. I wasn't looking to create a scene today, little Alaskan scene today, but it was within me and it came out. And so here we are. So, these collages were supposed to be intuitive, and now I've created 5 of them that have a scene to them. It's interesting how almost 50 days and things are starting to emerge throughout my art. So, um, trying to sometimes when you are just trying to be intuitive with your art, things emerge. I find that interesting. Any case, something for you to think about as you go through your daily art practice. Are things emerging for you as well? And if they are, comment below. I would really like to hear about what is resonating with you in your art as you're doing your daily art practice or every few day art practice. Make time for yourself. And I hope you have a great day. And thank you for watching Ratchet Up Your Art.